Alright, I think all my everything's all set up again. Y'all should be good. Everything should be great. Let's go. Rude. Yeah, no. How is everybody? Because it has been like, I think a month. Anything new happened with you guys? I'm finally recording stuff again. Now I have a computer I can record things. I'm going to be appearing in a very special video from someone else's who's also in the big Pathfinder sphere on YouTube. I'm going to be appearing in one of their videos soonish. And I have a bunch of other stuff I'm working on. I'm currently writing out scripts for videos about the Shiny Kingdoms book, as well as the upcoming Draconic Codex and Monster Core 2 stuff that was shown off during PaizoCon, which will be going over live on Saturday. And I have a bunch of like little YouTube short / TikTok type beat going to be about like items and like features and spells I really like. Kind of like the Godbreaker one that really exploded out of nowhere. Thanks again for that, guys. That shit has like 25,000 views. And it's kind of crazy that that's a lot of fucker people. And we finally reached 2,500 subscribers on YouTube as well, which is also really awesome. Other than that, it's kind of just been chilling, waiting for my stuff to arrive. But it's finally here, and we're finally able to go and hang out together and do cool stuff on live again. Tomorrow, we're going to be streaming Fantasy Life I, because I've literally become obsessed with that game to the point where it's not healthy. Like, the first weekend it released, I had, like, what is it? Like, 70 hours in it. I was playing on my Switch, though, and I know there's, like, cross-play, like, cross-save stuff, but I think I'm going to start a new save on my PC version when I stream it, because it's just really good, and I love that game. Well, thank you so much for the follow. It has been so long. So working, filling keyboards. I have the Shiny Kingdoms, but I have not started reading it yet. I received Sky Raiders of Avanax, so I've been going through that. Ooh! I remember playing Fantasy Life on 3DS. Yeah, okay. So I was obsessed with that game and Tomodachi Life. And lo and behold, fucking Fantasy Life gets a sequel this year, and Tomodachi Life gets a sequel next year. After like 15 years. I'm so excited. Like, it's not even, I'm so happy. Like, I love the game. And like, it feels like Fantasy Life I is better in like every single way, except for like maybe some like some areas I feel like could be bigger or cooler, or some dungeons could be designed slightly cooler, but other than that, it's literally like 98 games put into one that all fit all flavors of my autism. I want to stream Tomodachi Life so bad. Yeah, same. When Tomodachi Life 2 comes out, I'm going to also stream the fuck out of that. I'm going to have memes of me and my homies and probably subscribers and stuff like that. Maybe I chipped my molar last night. Have British teeth help? No. Die. You'll never have real teeth again. Yeah, no, we should probably get into the Shiny Kingdom stuff. I will say off the bat right now, I'm normally not a lore person. That is what Dina in chat, and also Rudia, who I'm not sure if is in chat or not, their old channels, both YouTube and Twitch, are all about Pathfinder lore stuff, and I am not the greatest when it comes to Pathfinder lore. I will be going over some cool lore bits here and there that I think are really awesome, but mostly we're going to be focusing on mechanics tonight, because there's a lot. There's so much shit. Okay, there's animal companions, there's archetypes, there's new skill feats, there's new spells, there's new wizard schools, there's new like subclasses, there's just so much shit. There's new items, there's a lot. Like a lot. Like so much new stuff. It's not even funny. And like I love it. And I believe what is it called? I believe we're gonna be starting out with the Eagle Knights because they have some stupidly awesome character options when it comes to the archetype. The new Eagle Knight archetype is crazy. Gonna get more general feats? Probably not, to be honest, because skill feats count as general feats, and also general feats have to be so generic and generalized that they don't fit into the skill feat category in the first place. We got Robust Health in the remaster, which is honestly the best general feat in the entire game, so I doubt they're gonna do any other ones. I'm so excited to get to Pathfinder in the future. I've been trying to convince my players to switch after our next campaign. Do it! I believe in you! Yell at them, fight them, destroy them. Do it. Do it now. Hello, Beckfried. I've heard of Tomodachi. Okay, so imagine if like it was like kind of like Tamagotchi, but it was not, but like you have like an entire apartment building on a cool island, and you have all of your Miis from yourself and all your friends and everything like that all in that apartment building, and they do some fucking weird random shit. It's like imagine like a kind of like Sims, honestly, but like with less interaction, but you can still feed them, but you can look into their dreams and see all this weird stuff. You can do your best to try to make the ones you want to romance them, but they don't talk to each other and they kind of hate each other, so they just end up marrying their sister or whatever, and you're like, no. It's a wild ride. Also, yes, I have 2 new, I guess technically 3 new emotes. There is a Smug Phoebe emote and a Grabby emote, which are going to be really fun. Also, thank you for the head pads. Hang the Tibby tax. Also, finally got to dip my toes in TTRG when I was the playtest for Legend of the Myths. Had a blast. Are going to be a full campaign. Hell yeah, I love tabletop games the most, as you can probably tell. Man, I got a new Smug Phoebe emote, and then I got these 2 Grabby ones, which are kind of freaky. Everybody keeps saying it freaks them out, which I'm really glad about, because that was kind of the goal. I love them. There are also stickers and emotes and animations you can find on my Discord. So if you ever want to go ahead and join my Discord to see what's up in my community or see what's going on, you can type Discord into the chat like this, and it will go put a link to my Discord in the chat. So you go click on that, join the invite link, have a good time in there. It's how you get in touch with me with everything, whether that is through like just talking about tabletop games, hang out with the community, playing games together, or just figure out when I'm going to be streaming or putting up a new video and things like that. I feel like it's time to get on to the actual meat and potatoes of Shiny Kingdoms. Also, thank you for that, Pat, again. Is your mic good? Is it? I don't know. You tell me. It's echoey. I don't know. Blah. Let me check something real quick. I'm gonna see on some of my audio settings real quick. I mean, the room you're in? My room is an empty room of nothingness. As always. It is the exact same room. Nothing has changed. I literally just had to redo literally every single part of my everything. But yeah, no, I don't know if anything's wrong or bad. Can't see some of the same. Okay, I'm happy how to fireball baby. Hello. You almost did max damage too, Lucy, which is fine. Kind of rude. I was like, if I had that. Oh, you was rude to me? Okay, cool. We're gonna move on. I was afraid something was broken. We're gonna move scenes. Also, if you didn't notice earlier, my transition is now quieter. I figured it out. I figured out how to fix it and edit and do all that stuff. So it is quieter, so you won't blast your eardrums when I switch scenes anymore. Huzzah! Shit. Give me. Huh? Huzzah! See? Not super horribly, awfully deafening anymore. Yeah, your ears are now safe. If that is too quiet, let me know. I can increase it. I made it quite, like, quiet. Just as, like, to hopefully make it so you don't explode. But if it is too quiet, let me know. So I might be able to fix it later again to make it louder. It is a reasonable volume. Hallelujah, thank you. As what I wanted to hear. I had to lower the gain by like 20 in the actual file of it because OBS, for whatever reason, has no option when it comes to editing the audio of your like transitions and stuff, which is annoying. So I had to go into the file itself, open it with the editing software, and then futz around with the gain and stuff like that, which wasn't the hard part. The hardest part was figure out, like, because I had to like I have a working computer now, so it was easier now, but on my old PC I would not be able to do it. But as you can see, I love this cover art. I'm gonna zoom out slightly just so you can see the full thing. But it is one I like. It's the classic fantasy type shit that you come to expect from like these types of books. Big dragon fighting knights and stuff next to a castle. It's cool. It's pretty. It's awesome. I'm not going to focus too much on all of the art in this book because Piles doesn't like it when you use up all their art and stuff like that, which is fair and completely fine. I understand. They didn't keep the old red dragon design. Because look at this motherfucker! Look at this rat bastard! This is Darla. I never know how to pronounce his name right. It's hard as shit. The new red cinder dragon, like they're called cinder dragons now. They are more melty. They are more fiery. There's a lot going on. I don't think I like the facial wispy bits. And they did keep that up there, although it is more like to call him Daryl. I know, but like, I'm pretty sure he'd fight me if I didn't call him by his full title because he's an asshole. I'm looking at the motherfucking dragon, as you should. Like, look at him. I like the weird little wing talons, like everything like that. I love this. He's got the Chad chin. Yes, the weird scrankly teeth. Hey, thank you so much, Liv, for the raid. And for anybody who's new here, I am Phoebe Bain, Goblin Magus VTuber extraordinaire. I normally talk about tabletop games. Like today, we're talking about Pathfinder's Lost Omens Shining Kingdoms, but I also play video games and other stuff like that. Yeah, no, I love how, like, the new Red Dragon, the Cinder Dragons, their scales look kind of like they're melting off because of the heat that these guys are giving off constantly. They're always on fire. It's always a bad time to be around them or to fight them. It was a video game once. Oh. Yeah, hey, everybody. Thank you for the raid again. And I love this book. There's so much shit in it. So if you want to learn more about Pathfinder you've never learned before, or even thought about playing it before, stick around. If not, that's fine. Go get your drinks, go eat, go piss, whatever you need. Thank you so much for the follow. We're going to move on to the Eagle Knight. Eagle Knight is an entire group of people. They're from Andorra, like the Andorran region, I believe. Actually need to leave. Okay, that's fine. Goodbye forever. The Eagle Knights are really cool. They're like the opposite of a Hell Knight. If you know what a Hell Knight is in Pathfinder, Hell Knights are like lawful evil. No, not all of them are, but like most of them are, based off of like how Hell does their stuff with devils and stuff like that. Like evil, mean, spooky boys. Eagle Knights are like the opposite. They're the good boys. They're like if Paladins could not just be a Paladin, but any other class, but they want to hit things still. I love them the most. So Heaven Knight, kind of, yeah. I love their armor design. I love their everything. These guys have some of the best and most craziest, like, defensive, like, defender, like, protecting your homies, your party members' feats ever. Yeah, Andoran Eagle Knights, the freedom fight, the freedom, all your freedom with eagles, freedom, eagle, freedom. Yes, they're basically the opposite of the Hell Knight. They're like, freedom, yippee! And Hell Knights are like, slavery, woohoo! Here for the dwarfiest dwarves. We'll get there. Don't worry, Ironcaster. We'll get there. I should start with this one because this is my favorite one of the archetypes so far. Because how nutty some of the feats are. The dedication is nothing special. It's you, of course, to have access to it. Access only really matters if you're playing Pathfinder Society and stuff like that, but some GMs want you to use it. Prerequisites are trained in diplomacy and society, which is two skills you might never use on a march character that would benefit from this dedication, but it is well worth the investment. Pick the skill as a human if you have to. Go and dump everything except for athletics, and then take these two skills if you're like a fighter or something like that, because you want this if you want to be a defender type character and don't want to play the guardian or the champion class or monk question mark. The dedication itself is pretty standard for a dedication. It doesn't give you anything super special, super cool, but it does give you additional lore skill feed for politics lore, so you'll be a huge nerd about politics if you want to. But if you use diplomacy for initiative, which doesn't really come up a whole lot, but if it does come up, it's kind of neat. Creatures that haven't acted are off guard to you. I should probably specify that a little bit more. In Pathfinder 2nd Edition, your initiative could be rolled by perception normally to see how like stuff's going around you. But if you're doing other things right before combat breaks out, you can use a skill associated with the other things as your initiative. Say you kicking a door down to initiate combat, you use athletics for your initiative. If you are sneaking around and the combat breaks out, you use your stealth for initiative, stuff like that. If you want to like sucker punch somebody or throw sand in their eyes, you can use like deception and stuff like that. It's all really cool. But if you use diplomacy for initiative, so if you're talking to somebody and you're trying to like be nice and diplomatic about it, but stuff still breaks out, you can use diplomacy as your initiative. And anyone who hasn't acted yet, so if you are higher initiative than them and they haven't done anything on their turns yet, they are off guard to you. Off guard being flat-footed if you use the older terms. And what that means is just you have a -2 to your armor class, which is really, really strong, especially if like you're playing like a fighter or a rogue who has the Eagle Knight dedication. Fighters have an increased chance to crit baseline, and the -2 will give them an even bigger chance to crit. And then, of course, -2 the AC, easier to land hits on, and if you increase the chance to crit them as well, which really stacks up with stuff like sneak attack and things like that. Really good all-around thing. You can also use politics lore that you get from this to make an impression or make a request of government officials or similar figures, or to gather information about them. If you critically succeed at a check to gather information with your politics lore, you know the information I have to spend any time gathering because you just know it in your noggin because you're a huge political nerd. Ow! Yes, and I highly incentivize you to negotiate and be a good person, because remember, these guys are the opposite of Hell Knights. These guys are about justice, freedom, truth, yippee. So if you're a good boy or girl or they, and you go ahead and try to negotiate, and even if things turn sour, you will still kill them. They would have wished they negotiated instead of fallen at your feet, bleeding out. You know, it's nothing to the using diplomacy for initiative is the best part, in my opinion. If I'm a bad boy, well, then you won't get your cool fun time ability, now will you? The Hell Knights are over there. They're always recruiting. Oh, you're a good girl at spaces, are you? I don't know about that. I've seen your DMs. Man, no, that's not where it's crazy. Where it's crazy is the 4th level feat, Commitment to Equality. Look how fucking huge this feat is. It takes up the entire screen right now. To your right. My bad boy, I'm bad at everything. I mean, technically speaking, yes. But I don't think, like, for the purposes of this, it would be bad. I'm a chaotic neutralish boy. Well, then you can get to the back corner of the bar with all the rest of them. There's not enough room. There's not enough corners. So you gotta group up together into a huddle. Petition to rename feats to grippers. I hate you. But Committed to Equality, as you can see, is long. You need to be expert in diplomacy, so you have to use your skill increase at 3rd level to increase diplomacy. But as a 2-action ability, you can rally a creature within 30 feet of you in an attempt to reduce its frightened or stupefied condition. When you are master in diplomacy, add clumsy and enfeeble to the list of conditions. When you are legendary in diplomacy, add stunned to the list of conditions. That alone is amazing. That is like 9 different feats from like Paladin / Champion / Blessed One with the Mercy feat chain, all rolled up into one, and it's at 30-foot range, and you just shout at them. You're like, hey, stop it. They're like, oh, I'm better now. Thank you, my lord. Gotta wait for River Kingdoms for chaotic neutral stuff. Yeah. But yeah, no, this feat is nutty, because you just attempted a diplomacy check against the saving throws DC. If it was a saving throw, use the hard DC of the level of the creature, house, or item. And then you can't do it to the same person again for like 1 hour, but it's literally the feat from Payday 2. We're like, get up! And they're like, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I got you. Okay, I'm up. Comrade, their fear is against the principles of the people's equality. Jarvis, prepare the protag monologue. Actually, I'll get someone to stop being disabled. I mean, technically, yes. But is it mean or wrong if it works? Because it works on stupefied, frightened, clumsy, enfeebled, and stunned. You're all just gonna be like, ah. Pathfinder's nuts? All right. Where are they? Thank you so much for the follow, Azure Scale Tipper. You know, this one feat, it's a long fucking feat that's just like, hey, use diplomacy to fix people. Well worth it. An incredibly good feat. It has competition with the 4th level feat that's also really good. If you want to be like a more backline Eagle Knight, take Commitment to Equality. If you want to be a more frontline one, I'd say take Interpose. Interpose, 2-action ability. Stride up to your speed. You must end your movement adjacent to an ally. You and your ally then swap position with each other. After swapping positions, you can punch an enemy within your reach. This feels like a Guardian feat, but good. 2-action ability, run up to somebody, swap places with your homie, and then attack a guy who's next to your homie. It all got better, by the way. Don't worry, France is okay-ish. There's a lot of bad stuff happening, but it's still okay. Yeah, so swap dance with somebody and then punch a man. 2-action ability. What did I miss your analysis on anyhow? Not much. At the beginning of the stream for the first like 20 or so minutes was me making sure my settings are okay with my stream and stuff like that, because it's my first stream back on my new PC. Everything else is pretty much me talking about Eagle so far and what to expect from this book. I also work with a large PC. You'd still swap places with him. So I assume it just works for, you just push them farther away, which I think works perfectly fine with large people like Jotunborn, the Dragonkin, the Minotaurs, the Centaurs, stuff like that. I just imagine it works better. Because you can push them even farther out of harm's way. Thank you, Pierogi, for the raid! How are you guys? For everybody who's new here, I am Phoebe Bane, Goblin Magus YouTuber extraordinaire. I know we talk about tabletop games like Pathfinder, Lancer, Fabula, Ultima, and today we're going over the Pathfinder Lost Omens Shining Kingdoms book. This book is chock full of amazing, awesome options, so if you're interested in Pathfinder 2e, never played it but want to learn it, or just want to hear my funny voice, you can stick around. If not, go eat, go drink, go take a piss, whatever you gotta do. But for now, we'll get right back into it. Of course I have the book. It's my job to have the book. I just can't show it all the time because people like watching my titties wobble. Not gonna lie. I'm guessing a swap is considered forced movement to avoid reactive strike. I know not everything has it, but still, it doesn't say. It doesn't specify. So I'm going to assume it doesn't prevent that. So much action economy? Yes! These two options that we just talked about are amazing with action economy stuff. Oh no, ad, I'm sorry. I was looking for the sub, Dustin. Watching people's dressy boobly. It's, you know, it's just what people like. It's why I don't have my book up all the time, because people really, really like seeing. I move a lot, so it moves a lot too. Oh, is there a new emoji? Did you see I got 2 new emojis, Dustin? I've got a cute heckin' smug one, and I've got the freaky grabbies. Also, thank you so much for yeeting stuff in my face. Meaner. Honestly, I just think your dress is pretty. It's always about the boobia. I don't know about that. Hello, Rex. Man, no. Interpose is one of my favorite actions you can get from an archetype ever. Run up to somebody, swap with them, and then stab a guy. It's amazingly defensive. It's just really fun and really cool. That hell hath gripped me. I'm sorry. I couldn't pause it. I didn't see it coming. I have a lovely stream. I gotta run. Bye. Thank you for your raid again. Yeah, interpose if you're gonna go melee, if you want to do more ranged, like a bow or a gun or whatever, come into equality. And you have committed to justice, 1 action ability. If you witness a creature kill or reduce a friend to 0 HP so your last term, you get angry and you stab a man. If you stab a man and you hit them, you're getting bonus damage equal to 3 times the number of weapon damage dice. This is an okay feat in my opinion. Committed to equality is a skill check. Yeah, I talked about that earlier. Diplomacy against things. It's great. But you have to get diplomacy anyways to get this whole dedication, so you may as well invest in it. Committed to justice, I like the thematic stuff for the feat, but I would never take it myself because it's so situational. You have to watch your guy kill or knock out an ally in order to get extra damage, which is okay. It is a specific like attack thingy, like action thingy, so you can't use like vicious strike or whatever. It has to be with commitment to justice. 3 times your damage dice is pretty neat, but eh. Yeah, the crit fail is rude, but like, just don't crit fail. Okay? It's that easy. Yeah, 3 is alright, but it's very, like, not gonna happen a lot. But Commit to Liberty, another 6-level feat, is just better. 2-action ability. If an enemy has one of your homies grabbed or restrained, you smack at them. If they hit, the grab or restrained ally can immediately attempt to escape as a free action. If it's a crit, they get a +2 bonus to their escape attempt. Basically a brand name of a Liberator champion. Yes! But you can take it on shit like fighter without having to go to a different archetype and also have diplomacy-based stuff. That is a great defender ability. Interpose and Commit to Liberty are amazing. And Howl, also. You almost have minimum damage, huh? Best part of Commitment to Liberty is it just says make a strike against the creature. It doesn't say melee strike, so you can shoot some guy from 50 feet away and free your homie. Thank you, Adrian, for the raid! For anyone who's new here, I am Phoebe Bain, fellow Mechs YouTuber extraordinaire. I talk about tabletop games, normally like Pathfinder, Lancer, Fabula Ultima, but also play video games sometimes. Today we're talking about Pathfinder 2E's new book, Lost Omens, Shining Kingdoms. If you guys want to hear more about Pathfinder, want to learn about Pathfinder, what it is, or just want to hear my voice more, go ahead and stick around. If not, that's fine. Go eat, go drink, go piss, whatever you need. And thank you so much for the follow, Corey. And thank you so much for the follow, Dragon Emperor. Bolster ally, yes. Again, this is Defender times 7. This is just an amazing Defender-y type class archetype. 8th level feat, Bolster ally. As a reaction, once per 10 minutes, so you're gonna use this once per fight. When your allies within 30 feet of you is targeted by a spell or ability that allows a saving throw, you yell at them. And they can use your saving throw modifier instead of their own. So if you are a rogue with this dedication, maybe you're like a cool like stabby thief rogue, or like a scoundrel rogue with your diplomacy stuff, and you just do a flip and you flip for them, and they can use your what's it called, your dexterity modifier for a reflex save. So if they're like a champion, heavy armor or whatever, they can use your modifier, or like your wizard or something like that. Bolster ally seems like a 40 warlord power. Yes. This archetype is very much a supportive defender type of thing. It's so great. I love it. He likes seeing a wizard about to fail a con save. Hey, nerd, don't fail. Hi, from the sneaky elf, right? Hey. Also, not gonna lie, this next feat is called Stir Allies. When I first saw this feat, when I first opened the book, I thought it said strip allies, and I was really excited. It does not say that. It just lets you use 2 actions to make your homies move. This one is like a commander, like command with an extra action on top of it. Like it takes 2 actions to make all of your allies use reaction to step. And you're instead legendary in diplomacy. They can instead stride as a reaction. This is an okay thing. You see this a lot in the commander and the envoy. Both have abilities like this. It is 2 actions here, whereas normally 1 action for the commander and the envoy. It's a little bit of a trade. Should probably be crazy. It would. And I'm adding it to the Callie. If you're in chat, make it a thing. I know what you do. I know what you are. I'm not for sure when Callie, what it's even for, to be honest. Mood. Heckin' when God, what is that? What's it called? When Altspace like contacted me if there was any like lewd Pathfinder 2E / Starfinder thingies, I was like, damn, there really should be. There's only like 1 I know of. We have a hydrate. We have an ability called Interpose Goblin. We push a goblin in the way of damage. Yes, that is Honestly, a lot of the Defender's whole shtick, not the Defender, the Guardian's whole shtick, it's a class coming in Battlecry, which releases next month, technically. It's like July 31st, August 1st-ish. Their whole thing is about getting down Mr. President, drawing aggro, diving for their allies to take attacks for them, all stuff like that. Hey, I asked one question. I saw a page about Andoran and the Kitsune ancestry. Is there any lore reason for Kitsune being an Andoran? I'm interested. I've heard about the Dwarven forest having some, but that's all I know. I don't know a whole lot about the lore stuffs. I didn't get to look very much into all the lore in general. Which unofficial book is what you're thinking of? I don't remember. I know there's like something that's been released on a Patreon. It has a whole like Foundry VTT setup thingy. Of which the Foundry VTT integration has Love Ends integration with it, which is pretty nutty. But that's not talk for here. That's talk for Blue Twitch. But like soon, hopefully. Hello, there's a commune of Kitsune in the Verdant Forest. There's not a whole lot of official lore on it, but there's a couple pages on it, Kitsune and Galarian on Pathfinder and Fish. It's hashtag shameless. Hey, Wabo. Constitution of Jutsu? Yes, like that. And the Verdant Forest is a cosmopolitan Kitsune settlement of Amgen, not a single ethnicity, but a gathering of Kitsune from other regions. And Kitsune are known for openly displaying their Kitsune forms in hopes that doing so will avoid a trickster stereotype in the inner sea region. This where it's expired. It shouldn't be. Give me a second. Like, wait, what? Why? Weird, weird, weird. Give me a second, I'll see if I can fix it. It should just be discord.gg/VBBAM. Hey, how's new content? As always, amazing. Callie, hey! I should have been your strip Alley's feet and you'll regret it. I won't regret it. That's what I want. That's what I came here for. You should just be able to click on that. Oh yeah, back to the feat for something like that. Level 12 feat, Order of Confidence. You get resistance to mental damage equal to half your level, and you and all your allies within 15 feet of you gain a +2 bonus to save throws against mental effects. Not just fear like most things, all mental effects. Which is pretty heckin' strong. Think about that. 15 feet of which is like the exact same range of a normal champion's aura as well. So again, this will stack on top of your normal champion stuff. Survives unless you move an ally's armor as a single action attempts to counteract one spell effect with their limit or less they have. I mean, that'd be a cool idea. Then you have Talmendor's Shout. 2 extra ability once per day, which I hate once per day abilities. I want to do it more than once a session. But you have to be master in intimidation. Which is probably be a little rough because you have to be master in intimidation and diplomacy if you want to use like the main core stuff of this whole thing so far. On top of any other thing that you'd normally take, like if you're a fighter or a barbarian with like athletics and stuff like that, you kind of have to skimp out on some increases in order to take this. Which is a little less than ideal, but it shouldn't be too bad. No, I want to turn to 5e, Dustin, we can't. But it is a pretty strong ability. If you had witnessed a creature deal damage to an ally within 30 feet of you since your last turn, 2 action ability, you go like, ah! And then shout into the fucking sky. And attempt an intimidation check to demoralize every single person within 60 feet of you. It has no penalty to not sharing a language, kind of like battle cry, stuff like that. And you go like, ah! And everyone's afraid of you. Which is a really good, like, fear is amazing. Hey, your op is good, gamer. That's not fair. Oftentimes days go over multiple sessions, especially if you're in Dungeon Deli, so there's more like a once per month ability sometimes. Exactly. That is why I hate once per day abilities in any tabletop game, because a day can sometimes be 5 minutes in a game, or it could be like a month and a half to be on like session delays, like get to move sessions somewhere else, like to another time, as you're in like a particularly like diplomatic type of a thingy where you have no reason to use it ever. You have to sit there and wait, and hopefully at the end of your dungeon day, I'm afraid of the cutest goblin roar. Good. You get what you deserve. Actually, I'm not doing once per day makes sense, but innate abilities, yeah, that blows. I'm still not a fan of once per day abilities on items either. Those better be some strong fuck-ass items, otherwise I'm never gonna use them. Because Lord knows, I'm gonna hold on to it. Like, what if we need it? What if we still need it to happen? What if we still use it? Like, what if I need it and, like, what if I waste it, you know? You don't like wands? I don't like how wands are implemented, no. I don't like having to have 98 wands of something in my back pocket. That was fun to your comment rest cycle of your GM, I guess. Yeah. That's another thing I get mad about, is because that also incentivizes the D&D 5e ass, we had a single fight, let's take a nap now type shit. Like, I feel like it incentivizes people to be like, all right, we did have one fight for the day, let's recharge all of our spell slots and item abilities. And it's like, no, we're in a dungeon. A dungeon, there's evil everywhere, they're roaming. You can't just rest now. And it's like, fuck you, Lemon's hut of tidiness, and fuck you. I'm taking a nap. I will never not. Like, that happened in every single fucking D&D 5e game I was ever in. Across, like, dozens of different groups for running one-shots, being a part of one-shots, okay, the people being like, no, Lemon's hut, Lemon's tiny hut or whatever it's called. We're immune to everything for 8 hours while we sleep, GM. Go fuck yourself. And you're like, god damn it. And it's like, you can't say no to that. Like, what are they gonna do? Play near Palace every day. Lemon's tiny hut every single fight. What's the rope? Is it called? What's the rope one? Can I spell that shit, lol? Counterspell is a reaction if they see it happening. Rope trick, yeah. Dispel magic, yes. If there's any spellcasters in this forest full of dogs. If there's any spellcasters in this dungeon of low-level bandits. And then to still make a check to dispel the magic. at the moment. Yeah, but at the same time, that means it's even more egregious because they have even more things. Just be like, all right, I use 2 7th level spell slots. I have 4 of every previous level left. I'm taking a nap. No, Tiny Hut's like level. It's like what? Tiny Hut's not that much of a level. Yeah, Tiny Hut's only 3rd level. That's level 5. Like that's character level 5, 3rd rank spell. And before that, you still have Rope Trick, which I believe is 1st level. It's not like a full 8 hours rest, but it's just an invisible place for you to hang out inside of. If it's 8 whole people and it's invisible, nobody can see it unless you put the rope down. That's a rant. That's not. I'm sorry for getting sidetracked and ranting again. I Cozy Cabin better. Cozy Cabin's cute. It makes me think of like buying cabins in Final Fantasy 1 and just sitting in them once per day. Amateur pro tip: have enough gold by the end of level 3 to live a comfortable life and retire. Yeah. Like you can tell people play the Magus. Hey, what do you mean by that, huh? What's that have to do with anything? Mind Palace is goofy. I really thought being like, you can enter my Mind Palace. Why is there porn everywhere? You don't touch anything. It might be sticky. You choose spell slot jump 1. It's 4 spell slots and then extra baby spell slot below that. So I have at least 6 to 8 spell slots. All right, so get it right. It's not particularly tagged. Don't touch anything. And stay away from the mind break place. I don't want to get out again. They're getting mad about once per day abilities. I know why, but that's a discussion for another day. That's why Phoebe rants about things she doesn't like in tabletop game stream. This is the Shiny Kingdom stream. But yeah, even the odds. Level 14 feet, free action once per day. Once per day. Your next action is to use a commitment to equality, which remember, again, commitment to equality is all the way up here. To reduce your friend's stuff, like frightened, stupefied, clumsy, enfeebled, or stunned. Oops, I scrolled too far. You can roll twice, take the higher result, which is a fortune effect. And if you see, they also get 25 temp HP. That lasts for a minute. Like, this is pretty neat buff. It's okay as a feat, I think. Again, it's a once per day. You can super make sure your friend's not clumsy and also give them a little bit of temp HP, which is nice. Which once per day. That is fair, Cloud, Draxie. I do agree that maybe spell slots should be changed to something different. I'm not really sold on, like, nobody's ever really sold me on anything that's not spell slots. Because, like, spell points has its own issues where it just ends up being like, wow, I can't believe I spent everything on 9th level spells and I have nothing else for the rest of the day. And stuff like that. Or, like, encounter powers and abilities, stuff like that, or, like, the 4E's way of doing it was weird and people did not like it because they like all the options and, like, variety, I almost said variability. Psi points is, I'm not sold on psi points. Focus points are a neat band-aid. I think focus points are cool. There's encounter powers from 4E again. And then I've been just surprised you use MP. I have a good time with MP in Fabula Ultima, but I've also never ran out of it in Fabula Ultima. Advanced spellcasting is the worst spellcasting system except for all of the rest. Looks at Magic Plus's new spellcasting system. I haven't looked at it just yet. I'm excited for it. Like, I really enjoy all the cool stuff that Team Plus does, mostly. They have some things I'm not a fan of, but that's just mixed bag of everything. I have things I don't enjoy when it comes to Pathfinder, like base Pathfinder stuff, so it's whatever. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about, like, Litro. And then the spellcaster from my other Fabula game. Or they'll be like, yeah, I ran out. I'm going to drink a potion real quick and get it all back immediately. And you're like, well, okay, that's fair. So in my experience, it's usually just like spam big spells, drink a juice, spam more big spells, drink more juice. Yeah, the real MP in Fabula is the inventory points needed to drink more juice. That is the JRPG way. I mean, it emulates it perfectly. Fabula Ultima is made to like emulate old school JRPG storytelling and gameplay, but like, I feel like it, like, yeah, that's the way, but like, I don't have to spend a lot of dollars on it. I'm gonna hydrate. I'm gonna drink some juice. Use an ether, but I only have 98 left. Sippy cup is the resource now. Yes, take a sippy. Now my next thaumaturge is gonna have the fucking chalice as a sippy. Give us your dollars, baby. You need your juice. I don't need my juice. Oh, can you post your PC specs? Oh, give me a second. I have to figure that out. I'll do it. I'll put it down in my description on my Twitch later. Once I compile it all together, because I gotta remember all my shit. Grandma says drink your prune juice. No, I don't want to shit myself to death on stream. But yeah, no, we're almost on Eagle Knight. And then immediately, at level 14, Committed Justice and Reactive Strike. You can always use Reactive Strike when a creature within your reach strikes one of your allies. And you might be saying, how are you going to get your Reactive Strike feat when every class has it? That's what bonus feats are for. Never forget to check these. I see some people like always forget to check this part of every single like book ever. Additional feats. Quick Draw, Reactive Striker, Blind Fight, Hazard Finder, Tactical Reflexes, and Determination. So always remember to check your additional feats, because you don't have just these, you have other ones for other archetypes or classes. Like you get Reactive Strike at 8th level if you want. Like Pillars of Eternity Druidway, you get all spells but limited uses per day. Yeah, that's also pretty cool. Tournaments or cast spells by combining cards of various suits or values of their hand. I love any tabletop game that uses cards. Ace of Cards from Fabula Ultima, the Huckster from fuck, what was it called? What? It's Deadlands? It's Deadlands, right? I'm not tweaking. I'm pretty sure it's Deadlands, yeah. Okay, one Huckster will always be my favorite class of all time ever in Deadlands, and it makes my GMs always angry because they can do some crazy stuff but also instantly die. So like, hee hee hoo hoo. I just love anything that involves cards. I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh nerd. Sue me. I also play Pokemon and Digimon and Cardfight Vanguard. I'm not just a Yu-Gi-Oh person, but like Yu-Gi-Oh is something people look at and watch, so I might as well just be a Yu-Gi-Oh person. Deadlands is fun until the 3rd hour of GM play that song from The Good, the Bad, the Ugly on loop. That's fair. You know what? That's fair. Yeah, no, that's all the Eagle Knight. An incredible, amazing defender. It has some offensive stuff, but it's mainly about defending. It's usually offensive through your defense. Hey, I use the song from The Harder They Fall. It's such a good music. You know, I'm not a nerd. I'm a hot goth bitch who just happens to like tabletop games and card games. There's a difference. You know, Eagle Knight, my favorite archetype in this game. Like, not in this game, in this book so far. Highly recommend. If you want to play a defender type character, whether you want to be a champion or like a fighter or something like that. It also supports range stuff too. It doesn't have to just be melee stuff, so you can just be a supporter in the back, shooting things for your homies. Fast trick reach A-pop in the middle of your gritty cowboy game just to throw your pieces for a loop. No, that's not for a loop. That's where you put your weird cowboy town thingy in the middle of your mech adventure exploration game. And like, cause like, you know, every like cowboy aesthetically thingy needs to have, no, the opposite way around. Every space thing always has at least one cowboy in it for some reason. That's just Samurai 7? Exactly. No matter where you are in space, some random like developer will always put a cowboy town in there if they're Western, or like a feudal Japan-y samurai-y town in there if you're like an Eastern like story maker. No matter what. Magical Girl Cowboy Mecha Eldritch Mystery Exploration AP. Get Jenny on the phone now. We need to make this real. But yeah, no. I play Firefly or Cowboy Bebop. They're all, it's been like that since forever though. Like even before then, I think. People just love cowboys in space. Because remember, space and like the whole like expanding outwards into space thingy, it's heavily involved in like the colonization type stuff that involves like cowboys and stuff like that. So of course they overlap a lot. Because what else is about going to space and taking over planets, taking land, settling our own little settlements, trying to scrape by what we can in these desert wastelands, trying to grow our own food? It's just cowboys, but in space. Oh shit, there's a fucking Humble Bundle for Deadlands PDFs? I'm stealing them. Someone needs a caster, gonna know their infinite monies with that. I mean, isn't that what spell chips is? Isn't that like one of the entire Technomancer subclasses is, Dina? It's where you can put stuff into your guns and shoot cooler. Real talk though, a space empire with tons of isolated planets and thus scattered law enforcement for cowboys. It is! Alakablam! Alakablam is one of my favorite fucking feat names ever, and I'm glad it's in the game. But yeah, no, like, space exploration and adventure is just perfect for cowboys, but in space. You have to have the hat on top of like your like big bulbous like, what's it called, like astronaut suit. There's no wind out there to go and stop my hat from flying off, so it's gonna stay on forever in the ether. Honestly, spell shot from PF2E works. Just relay your spell shots as cartridges and bam. That's fair. That also works too. You know why people want crypto stuff? Because people just want to just pawn off their dollars one way or another. Where's the Five Kings Mountain thing I wanted to talk about? There's this big fuck off conspirator dragon asshole. Got dick pill ads? Hell yeah, you gonna buy any? Yeah, no, I love the Five Kings Mountain. I love everything about this whole, like, what's it called? Like, the entire lore, everything like that. There's so much cool stuff into it. I highly recommend giving the lore of that one at the very least a read. But now we have some abilities for some archetypes we've already had. Like High Helm had the Stalwart Defender. These are extra feats on top of those ones. I know Five Kings Mountain makes dwarves actually interesting. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Again, I'm not going to go over the lore in this because I feel like Dina or Runia does the lore way better. Definitely check it out. Again, dwarves did make mechs to fight the dragon. Or dragons in general. There's dragon slaying cool mechs and shit like that. It's fucking sick as hell. I highly recommend looking into it. Take labs on Phoebe's stream. They're trying to tell you something. Yeah, that something is get ready, fucker. There's new spells and stuff like that too. I don't care about the spells that much. I care about the weird dogs. Pretty much every country, mostly every country in this book has animal companions to them, like I said earlier. And like these spells are cool now. Look at this fucking weird dog. There's another rideable lizard friend. And they're really cute. I like them. Or there it is. The giant rock tuatara. Look at him. He's a lizard. He has a crunchy tail. These guys are size medium. Yeah, rock bear. There's rock bear. There's grindle drakes. There's everything. Like grindle drake familiars. These guys are weird ass lizard creatures. And my favorite thing is there's more benefits really strong. If they start your next turn, your strikes that deal damage to a creature within like the reach of your weird dog. They make the target clumsy 1, which is always great, until the end of your next turn. Clumsy 1, if anyone doesn't know, reduces the dexterity modifier on everything on their sheet by 1. AC, reflex saves, any dexterity-based attack rolls, like with bows or finesse weapons, anything like that. It's a great condition to just have on anything. Just immediately, like, whack, it's there. Advanced maneuver is goofy as fuck. Tail escape. If the rock tuatara is grabbed or restrained, it can automatically escape and can step as it rips its own tail off like a lizard does. It grows back every 10 minutes or until you use magical healing on it, in which case it just sprouts a new tail anyways. It's like a once per encounter escape tool. It's not going to happen like a whole lot ever, but it's really funny the fact that your tail can just go whoop and just pop right off like a lizard does. I really love it. And there's no art, I don't think, of the Cragstone Bear. I don't remember seeing it anywhere. But it's a little cute little friend. It's like a tiny ass little like cave bear that eats cave water. It can make a good like companion tank against like grappling dudes, but like I don't really see them ever grabbing a dog over like when you're homies, but I just might be using my things differently. And the Cragstone Bear is really fun. They're really playful and energetic. They talk about how they're more like a dog than grizzly bear, but they have a rocky ass hide. So they make great defenders, which is really emblematic of their sport ability, where until the start of your next turn, you gain a +1 bonus to your circumstance a +1 circumstance bonus to your AC if your Cragstone Bear is adjacent to you. If it's Nimbler Savage, which is like at level 14, I believe, you can get a feat for that. Increase bonus to +2. So it's like a free shield inside your bear. Did you know if a cleric of Cataphypts casts Spiritual Renewal, it becomes Hawk-Tool Renewal? I hate you! I hate you! I hate you! You're an evil person for putting that in my brain. And then a Grindle Drake. These guys are little tiny boys. These are specific familiar. And I kind of love them. And I believe we are getting playable, like, little baby dragons, stuff like that as well. And Draconic Codex, I believe it is. So, like, they should be similar to these guys in, like, size and what they can do, I believe. Little baby Drake friends that you can play as, which I'm really excited for. Oops, wrong button, fuck. We're gonna move on to Galt now, because Galt is really funny. Galt, if you guys remember, this is France. If the French Revolution ever ended, they just kept cutting people's heads off. However, they've currently fixed the head chopping offing thinging. Kind of. And there's so much undeath everywhere. Like, every motherfucker and their dad got their head cut off. So there's like a bajillion ghosts and spirits and angry shit everywhere. Of which you can play as one of them. Some of the options you can play as give you specific new ghost features and feats that work with the ghost archetype from Book of the Dead. Maybe look at these people's like, what? Geb is actually involved with Galt now in a little bit. Because they're trying to figure out, how do we deal with all these restless spirits everywhere? What do we do? Let's go to the best, strongest, and coolest necromancer in the entire world, Geb, and see if he can help us. To which he's like, yeah, I'll help you guys if you give me one of the last final blades. Final blades being the things that they use to cut people's heads off forever. They're like weird prison blades that like would keep the souls of like the people they cut their heads off with like stuck there in the world forever. And Geb's like, I mean, I'll do it if you give me one of those. And they're like, oh, ooh, I don't know about that. Should I? Ooh. And it's a whole big deal because, again, Geb is like the evil necromancer ghost king of a kingdom he named after himself. Because he's an asshole who then waged like a 1,000-year war to the death of another 1,000-year-old immortal wizard named Mechs, who also named his country after himself because he's also an asshole. Geb, I want one of your final blades. Galt, should we engrave Nexus' name on it for you? Or do you want us to do that for you? We want to do it yourself. Can you do it? I'm really bad with my handwriting. Thank you, Capper Van, Caskerkin, for the follow. Yeah, all because I had a messy breakup. Yeah, no, Geb super wants the blade that doesn't let people move on. And it is such a useful thing for Necromancer. Yeah, I agree. I would not trust Geb at all, ever. He's kind of an asshole, but you can play as a fucking Doulahan ghost now. In order to take it, you literally have to have been executed with a final blade. So this has to happen before Night of the Grey Death, I believe, where we got rid of all the final blades, but like a couple of them. And you have an action that lets you remove your head. Like the movie Face Off with Nicolas Cage and Josh Brolin, where they took their faces off, but instead of just their faces, the head. Yeah, it's like Doulahan coded. Literally, you have the ability to remove your head. And you can use it to like look around obstacles and over cover. You just hold it out onto a stick and be like, it's over there. It's so goofy. I love it. Like you can even like leave your head around to like move your body independently of your head. So you can leave your own head there as like a sentry kind of. But like your body also becomes like deaf, blind, and unable to take anything that involves you having to like talk to a motherfucker. But as a free action, you just make your head pop back onto your head. Which happens automatically if you walk away from your head, I think more than 50 feet. Yeah, more than 50 feet, it kind of comes back. You know, blind fighting on the body as a fighter would be funny. You know, I can be trusted with the blade that ties people's spirits to the mortal realm forever. I won't do nothing horrible with it, I swear. I heard my boyfriend Nex is coming home soon, so I want to have him a nice housewarming party gift for him. You pop off your head, can you let an ally carry you around? I would imagine the ally would have to be willing for you to give them head. God damn it! Yes! They can hold it! I hate you for that joke. I'm like, it was funny though, but I hate you. Yeah, let's go some blind fighting. It'll be funny. I can't find my head. They even have an ability to throw their head. It's once per minute though. And you can just chuck, you can interact, remove your head, and then throw it at somebody within 30 feet of you, which you go like, ah! And you just scream at them, and it can like, what's it called? Frighten somebody. They have to make a will save against your class DC or spell DC. So you don't make it a demoralized check, no. They make a save against you. And you can spend multiple actions, so 2 actions. You can affect one additional creature per action spent. So 2 actions, you can affect 2 people, 3 actions, you can affect 3 people. Can a Kanrasu Doolaham throw their astral orb? I feel like if there's gonna be a headless like Kanrasu, that would how it would be done. Yeah. 30 dragon mechs. I glossed over them a little bit. That requires a feat to throw the head. Damn. You could just throw it in general, but like it's not gonna have a cool effect like this. Fling head just spooks like up to 3 guys. Up to frightened 3, which I get why it's a feat. Like a failure, they are frightened 2 and carries their frightened value below 1 with their remaining within 30 feet of you. And the critical failure, same as failure, but frightened 3. So it's like a pretty good feat. I understand why they made it a feat. Yeah, you can't reduce it. It is very strong. Hunting Memories broken at high school. Oh, wow. Hunting Memories is really cool. Hunting Memories is basically, as you have been executed with the final blade, you still have some little bits of memories and other things of other people who are also trapped with that final blade. So during your daily preparations, you can go ahead and gain either expert in one skill that you're untrained in, or raise proficiency to master one skill you are trained in. And also get 1 skill feat with a minimum requirement of your new rank in the chosen skill. These last 2 make your daily preparations again. And all that stuff. But you just have some other person's memories being like, I was a blacksmith. You're like, I'm so good at crafting right now, bro. This is unreal. I just really like it. You get free master in a skill you're already trained in if you want to go past trained once per day, and can take a skill feat that requires it to be master or below if you need it. That's just good in general. That's very handy. It goes to master if you're trained in it at least. So if you're like a rogue or an investigator who's trained in like every skill ever, you just decide one day to be, I'm mastering it now. Fuck you. And I also have a skill feat that's a master skill feat that does not require prerequisites, obviously, of that specific skill. Really strong. Really good. Bye, Rax. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, no, it's a really good feat. I really, really enjoy this one. I don't like that they first Phoebe Sarai joined us when official dual hands are showed. Pathfinder 2 Fate has spoken. Exactly. The clingy geist is a clingy Jan Dulahan. I can't handle two people who do puns in my chat. Yeah, very handy for your game as downtime too, gives plenty of money, earning abilities, or even crafting options. Yes! Clingy geist is really fun. Once per day to action ability. Your participant inside the final blade that you use to perform countless executions has given you an aptitude for being inside of blades. You can project your mind and incorporate your body into an unattended weapon of 2 bulk or less that deals slashing damage. While inside of the sword or blade, you have a space of 5 feet, but don't block or impede enemies that's meant to move through your space, nor do you benefit from or provide flanking. You are trained to use the weapon unless your person is already better, which you can make a strike action to the weapon as if you're wielding it. You get a fly speed of 30 feet, and can only take these strike and fly actions which don't trigger reactions because you're a sword. AC of 18 plus your level, and the hardest and hit points of the weapon you're possessing. Which for most one-handed slashing weapons is the hardest 5 HP 20. You can't be disarmed, nor can your true body be directly injured except by spirit damage, which bypass both weapons' hardness and hit points to damage you directly. If the weapon you are inhabited in is broken or destroyed, you're immediately ejected from it and paralyzed for 1 round. Otherwise, the effects last for 10 minutes until you dismiss it. You just become a sword, which is kind of cool. I don't know why you would do this other than for the coolness factor, because it's a one-stay ability, 2 actions to do it. But it's really fucking cool. I really love it, honestly. Like, it's like, because we know Seer in my community, he fucking loves swords so much, and he would definitely want to be a sword. So this gives him another option other than just the Yao like item 1. Ow! Rude. I'll see a time limit. Possess a butter knife for stealth round at 10 minutes. Or until you dismiss it. You have 10 minutes to be a butter knife scooting along the ground. Launch yourself past danger to hit the backline, maybe? Yeah. Because you can just dismiss it and it doesn't make you paralyzed. It's only when it breaks. So you could be like, meow. So I guess that makes sense, but it's really cool. It's just really cool in general. I just really like it. There's even more. But again, it's a once per day ability, so I hate it. But it's kind of metal. Yeah, Ghost is an archetype. Ghost is just an archetype in general. So you could be whatever ancestor you want to be, anything like that. And then you take that in place of like class feats and stuff like that. Yeah, fly past somebody in a hallway by themselves, be like, no one will ever believe you, and just fly away. But yeah, ghostly combination's metal as fuck. It's almost very ability, so I hate it. But literally, okay, listen to this. You shriek a death sentence upon a single target within 120 feet, forcing you to experience the final moments of your mortal life as you are dragged through the howling mob and forced to deal before the final blade that took your life and head. They are then subject to the effects of a 5th rank vision of death that DC equal to your class, DC, or spell DC, whichever is higher. If you kill them with this ability, its physical body will gruesomely decapitate, forcing its allies within 50 feet to attempt a will saving throw against your same DC or be frightened 1 or frightened 2 on a crit failure. It's not really worth once per day, but I know most spells you get through feats like that are only once per day, especially on ancestry feats like that. But at the same time, it's so fucking metal and so cool. I would use it in a heartbeat. Even better, you can play how this goes because Animal Companion is your Someone Severed Head. Yes! Because out of the 2 Animal Companions, there's 2 of them. No, there's 2 of them, I believe, yeah. Severed Head and Grey Bladeling. We'll get to what the fuck a Grey Bladeling is in a second. And so if you get a once per day 5th rank spell, it is good. But again, it's a once per day ability, so I'm gonna use it once maybe. And I'll be like, yippee, and I'll forget about it. Because, the damage doesn't really scale off anything. It's just a 5th rank forever. Which is okay, I guess. So that's 7 has your companion? Yeah, that's how it works. This is, fucked up necromancers and stuff like that in Galt and the surrounding areas loved the whole Red Revolution because it just filled the streets with so many heads they just collect. Because they would just unceremoniously dump the heads next to the fucking bodies and pits of it. So you just kind of dig out 19 heads and then use them for so many undead minions and shit. And so animal companions that are like the Severed Head are surprisingly common around asshole undead in the Galt region. It's just a little flying undead head that can bite dudes. Yeah, ooh, piece of body. Ooh, piece of body. Ooh, piece of body. Head for days. Literally, yes. It has a 25-foot flying speed. And it has void healing like every other undead. But also only has 4 HP. So, it's very squishy. But it has really good support and advanced benefits. Its support benefit is it kind of just latches onto them with its jaws. And so next time next creature within range of your severed head that you successfully strike before the start of your next turn takes a penalty to their speed and must succeed a DC 5 flat check to use reactions triggered by your actions at the start of your next turn. On a failure, the reaction is lost. So it gives you a bit of it gives you a tiny speed penalty, which isn't that great, but the whole making them be unable to use reactions against you is pretty great. But Nash is really funny. Which is, I like the idea of it. It's not that great of an ability. It's 1d6 persistent bleed damage, but it's really goofy to think about because you're just kind of like a dog. And you just strike them again, but they kind of and make them bleed. It's a really funny visual. This I feel like this animal companion kind of sucks, but I really like it thematically. It has no skills like any other thing. It's a mindless undead thing. You just go bite them, Dave, and he's and he bites them for you. But the real fucked up thing, the real fucked up animal companion quotations you can have is a Grey Bladeling. Grey Bladelings are what would happen if the shards of the final blades that were used to destroy everybody and cut off all their heads, if they were broken and fucked up in the United Grey Death. So, imagine if there was so much hatred and rage and just evil inside of it that the blade bits formed together to create a fucked up blade humanoid creature that looks like this. And that's your dog. That's your dog. So you're standard Pathfinder Society PC? That's your fucking dog. I want to be that. It is the coolest. It's just a bunch of fucked up swords and blades animated by hate. With stupidly good abilities. It's a construct. So it has its normal... It's a construct that's also undead, that also has void healing. It is immune to bleed, death effects, disease, poisoned, Doomed, drained, fatigued, healing, non-lethal attacks, paralyzed, and sickened. However, unlike most undead constructs, it does not die when it hits 0 HP, it just goes unconscious. Of which you can heal it with Void Healing. It's like Harm Spell and Bad Touch. I don't remember what it's called. What's the evil champion thing? You just touch them badly and they go like, ugh. Lay on Hurts, I used to call it. This thing is nuts! It's rare, of course, obviously. It's an undead construct from Galt made out of fuck shit. They're incredibly rare, incredibly awful to be around, but if you could have it as a dog, fuck it. They talk about how it's awful to control, like these things suck to like have as a pet. I don't know what else to call Lay on Hands, but it's Bad Touch now. And its abilities are crazy. Support benefit. The Great Bladeling slashes viciously at your enemy when you create an opening. Until the start of your next turn, each time you hit a creature, the Bladeling with reach with a strike, they take 1d4 persistent bleed damage or become a frightened one if it's already bleeding. So if you take this with a Flurry Ranger or someone who's attacking a lot, you immediately make them bleed and then fucking start being frightened. If they are specialized, persistent bleed increases to D8 instead of just D4. And that's really cool, really strong. Touch of the Void, fuck that, it's Bad Touch now. It's Bad Touch now. I don't care what its official name is, it's Bad Touch. But yeah, no, that's its support benefit. Support benefit is, you stab a guy, they're bleeding. You stab a guy again, they're frightened and bleeding. That's free frightened, no checkmate. Don't need to demoralize, don't need to do anything with them. They're frightened. 1. And that's not even the best part. Their advanced move or possessing strike is crazy. Once per hour, so it's going to happen like once per session. But get this. Once per hour, 2 action ability, your Great Bladeling stabs a guy with their blady bits and injects their evil hatred soul into them. They literally fill them with their hate. And then they must make a will saving throw against your class DC or spell DC, whichever is higher. Critical test, they're unaffected. Success, they fight off the possessing soul fragment but are stunned 1. So you know success, they're stunned 1. Failure, they're confused for 1 round and can't use offensive action against you or your dog. Crit failure. As failure, but if the target takes damage from a spell or attack roll, the DC of the flat check to recover from confusion is DC 15. You just have a confused guy. You just make an enemy confused that can't hurt you or your dog. Literally let the hate flow through you. This guy, who's not allowed on the couch, by the way, that shit's gonna be fucked up. It's like a cat with a scratching post. They stab them and inject them with their hatred, their pain, their suffering, and then try to control them with the ghosts inside of them. It is just a fucked up, weird, extremely strong, definitely no GM is going to allow you to use this dog. But Daisy, if you're in my stream, Callie, if you're in my stream, can I please have a weird dog made out of swords? It's really cool. I promise I'll take care of it and feed it and take it on walks. Yeah, imagine that on one of the fucking grandma couches covered in plastic wrap. Every time Thanksgiving would roll around, go to grandma's house, go to great grandma's house, all 14 couches covered in plastic wrap. I want a Grey Bladeling, my PC can wield a Grey Sword. I want to be a Grey Bladeling. I guess I could be a sword Yalgline flavor like that, but I want to fill him in with my ghost. It's a very extremely strong animal companion. Animal quotations. But like, I love it so much. Like, you just get to have this guy in your house. And there's an entire thing. And there's an entire, like, big ass, like, unique artifact feats you can take all about some Final Blade shit. Like, this is an awesome archetype. I love archetypes based on artifacts. Like, we had 2 in Treasure Vaults, which I got remastered, I believe. When the dog starts performing Bedman, quarter pressure IRL. Yes, I hope the flooring isn't real wood. Unfortunately, I'm not getting my deposit back. But yeah, no. Any archetype that's based on an artifact is my favorite thing ever. Like, there's the Ice Heart one and the Bear Hood one from Treasure Vault. This is one of them. This is an artifact archetype. You get an artifact, you get a cool dog, and then because of that, you get feats and shit based on that. And guess how you attune to this thing? Because the final blade, known as Silent Lenore, was exploded to 13 fragments. And while many final blades recovered have been rendered inert and harmless by means of the final blade ritual, the ruins of this one and other final blades unaccounted for were recovered in secret and crafted into powerful talismans of cruelty. You stab yourself in the neck with this thing. It's like a shard from the fucked up, like, soul sword of hatred pain. You just stab yourself right into your neck and anchor your soul to it. Your body is all fucked up. You're weak as shit. It's some JoJo stuff, but, like, you die more. It's like a really, you don't want this in you, but it gives you some really cool benefits. You kind of want it in you. Yeah, and then I had a Great Death Adventure. They destroyed almost all of them. There are a couple that weren't, like, accounted for, and some of them that, like, exploded in pieces, and people didn't get all the pieces of them yet. Which is why Geb wants one of them, because there's only, like, 3 or so left, I think, question mark. And he was like, give me one. And I'll help you with your ghost problem. Gimme. But yeah, no, you take a -1 penalty to your saving throws against effects that'll give you a clumsy, drain, or enfeeble condition. At 10th level, it increases to -2. However, you gain spirit resistance equal to your level, and a +2 bonus to saving throws against spirits or haunts and effects that will give you the confused, controlled, doomed, or stupefied condition. I think Gosrain animated the shards into one of a whirling storm of blade shards. I think that was the thing that happened. I'm not sure if it was all of them or just one of them. But yeah, no, this one, so you take a minus penalty to all of your physical stuff, but get a +2 bonus to things against all of, like, spiritual shit. And by the way, that thing is still in your neck always. You just have a piece of sword in your neck always. That would name them Power Sword Kill. I love that, actually. I'm stealing that. And guess what happens when you have a weird, fucked up sword in your neck? You can poke it. You start poking at it. And when you poke at it, it gives you a free ghost +1 ghost touch dagger that deals additional spirit damage with it. What is your Magus weapon? Magus weapon has the stats of a War Razor. But I spell strike with equally both my War Razor and also my teeth. Because I have the Fanged Goblin Heritage on top of my Unbreakable Goblin Heritage, so I can bite people. Bite deals more damage on average because it's a 1d6 versus 1d4. However, the War Razor does more damage on a crit because it has deadly D10. I do have the Chosen Lamash 2 feet. It looks like you have there a knife. If your weird ghost dagger ever leaves your hand, it disappears. So you gotta touch your neck again. You gotta fiddle with your weird neck thing. Everyone kind of looks at you kind of weirdly. It makes noises as you fiddle with it. Where's the Mashu? No. But she doesn't have to know that. And you can also add more runes to it as well by meditating over the runestone and shoving it into your neck hole. And then everything pretty much based itself off of the whole weird sword dagger thing you have in your like hand. You know, I just gotta, what are we gonna do? They took all of our gear. How are we gonna get out of here? Don't worry, I just gotta fiddle with my neck thingy to get a cool dagger quick. You, I don't like, you can turn away. You don't have to watch. Got it. It's such a freaky fucking screecher thing. But yeah, you get Dreadblade, which whenever you successfully strike with your spectral dagger and damage a guy, with the Frightened Edition, they can't reduce their condition below 1 before the end of your next turn. So it's similar to that Hobgoblin feat, I believe it is. You can swallow the runes. Rock tummy. Like a bird. You gotta be full of rocks to digest your food. And then Soul Bleed is what is really, really cool. When you crit somebody with your Spectral Dagger, you deal 1d6 persistent spirit damage. And if they weren't already taking that 1d6 spirit damage when you scored a critical hit, you get 10 HP equal to the spirit damage you dealt by the attack that lasts to the beginning of your next turn. As you just suck out their ghosts with your weird ghost stabber. So Well is cool. It's a once per hour ability, so you'll only use it once per like thingy, really. 2-action ability, you create a weird metaphysical vortex where mortal spirits struggle to escape from. For the next minute, anyone within 30 feet of you, all undead treat every square of that as difficult terrain. Whereas living creatures die at dying 5 rather than dying 4. Even better! When a living creature's dying value increases while within your soul well, your spectral dagger deals 1 additional weapon die of damage at the end of your next turn. Hey Dave! Dave, stay dying! I'm gonna, oh yeah, that's the stuff, oh yeah, and just start stabbing people. You get buffs if your friends start dying, which is cool because you make them die harder. I mean, less hard. You make it harder for them to die. Now we're getting back into some tasty, tasty shit, though. Free action, Lethal Edge. Trigger, your strike with a spectral dagger hits a frightened creature that deals spirit damage, which it does spirit damage automatically. And also, you can frighten dudes with it. Or like, you can frighten dudes in general, question mark. When the Terrified are struck by your special weapon, they feel the anguish of every life taken by the Silent Lenore Final Blade. You're going to apply one of the following effects which lasts to the end of your next turn. This is basically what the rogue debilitations are, but you get it with your weird sword. Either they're enfeebled 1 or they can't use reactions. Either or, you pick. That lasts to the end of your next turn. That's pretty good. That's a free action. That's pretty good. Just some of them dead people can't feel anguish because I don't believe in ghosts. Hungy Blade. Once per day ability, so, one action though, so, ooh. If your previous action was a strike with the Spectral Dagger that dealt spirit damage, which it does automatically on its own, it does 1 additional spirit damage. It gains the effects of the Keen property rune that applies only to strikes against the target of the required strike. This lasts for 10 minutes or until the target dies, whichever comes first. The Keen rune is a pretty good rune. Which means all of your crits, I believe, crit on a 19 instead of just a 20, so 19 or 20. Which, it's a pretty good rune, it's okay. But I don't think that it's worth a once per day thing, because it has an action cost. And then it gives you a rune that makes you crit on a 19 or 20, which is a 10% of a 5%. I feel like it should be like once per 10 minutes, but not once per day. However, I do believe that Vengeful Remnant, the 2-action ability level 14, is worth once per day, because 2-action ability, until the start of your next turn, you can resist 10 to all damage except for Force, Ghost Touch, Spirit, and Vitality. Double if the source is non-magical, because you wreathe yourselves in the tatters of all these souls claimed by your weird neck blade thing. That's what, Jason, I was saying that earlier. I went on a fucking 15-minute rant about that. Thank you. Think about that. And also, if you kill a guy not immune to spirit damage with your Spectral Dagger while the effect is over you, it's to recently increase into the end of your next turn. I believe it stacks. Yeah, it was an issue with the 40 days because every class had daily stuff. Yeah. Instrument of Death. If you have the Lethal Edge, which is the free action we talked about earlier, you get even more shit. If you could succeed at an attack roll against an enemy that used the Lethal Edge on them, add the following affixed list you can choose from. The target is cursed and can't benefit from any circumstance or status bonuses. This is a curse effect. Or they gain weakness 10 to spirit damage, which is really good depending on the party. If you have a cleric or like an exemplar or anything like that, it's really good. Otherwise, the cursed one is pretty good, because there's a lot of good circumstance and status bonuses. They can't raise their shields or anything like that. It's all good stuff. And another once per day ability, Guillotine Blade, 2 actions once per day. For the next minute, your Spectral Dagger gains the benefits of the Vorpal rune. When you use Snicker Snack with your Spectral Dagger, the DC of the Fortitude save is 37, your class DC, or your spell DC, whichever is higher. Shut up about fucking Vor in my chat! No, we were free! Listen, doula hands are cool and also kind of hot. No Vor! And finally, the soul, I can't say that word. I think it's French. Reaction. You reduce a creature's 0 HP with an attack from your Spectral Dagger. Requirements. Your weird splinter doesn't already contain a trapped soul. You trap their soul into the dagger. You only hold one soul at a time, but you can release a trapped soul as a free action. If you don't free a soul within the escapes automatically after 24 hours. However, you touch the splinter finality to an unbroken final blade, while a soul is trapped within, the soul is transferred to the final blade and imprisoned indefinitely. While your Splinter Finale contains a trap soul, you gain fast healing 15. That is a lot of healing. Basically, you can't go down unless you go down and die versus once you hit dying 5. You just keep healing back up after every single turn. Also, 15 health per turn is pretty strong and good. Oubliette. Ugh, that hurts my face to say it. Ugh, unnatural even. Disgusting. How do the French live like this? Feel tainted, my soul feels hurt. But yeah, that's all these spectral daggers stuff. Once again, I super fuck with any artifact archetype thingy. This was kind of cool. I wish it could be anything more than just a dagger, though. I wish there was a feat, like at like 10th level or whatever, to let me put it into a different weapon. Like, I just want a sword. Like, daggers are cool, I guess, if you're like a rogue. But like 1d4 damage is kind of dinky. I want a sword. Thank you, Skull Smuggery, for the follow. Which I guess I can get why you don't want to put into like a falchion or something like that. You want to put it in like a Aldori dueling sword. But at the same time, a dagger is kind of lame if you're not a rogue. Like, I picked a War Razor because it's just a dagger, but cooler. Because I'm a martial, I can use martial weapons and stuff. This is just a dagger, but way cooler, you know? No, real, why are there so many daggers? Stop it! I would have accepted a short sword. I would have accepted, like, just a short sword. It's an upgrade, it's a 1d6, hit me with a scimitar or something. I fuck with those. The Aldori are cool. And the archetype, the backer lets you get training an Aldori dueling sword is kind of fucked. But, what do you mean I'll be near pointy things? My mouth is a pointy thing! I am the pointy! Me! Man, this is the archetype. I love it. Really strong feats for dagger stuff if you like daggers. I particularly don't like daggers, but I'd still use this whole archetype because I love archetype and artifact feats and stuff like that. But that is all of Galt we're going to be talking about. Next up, we're going to be going over... Where is it? There is the Wild Heart, which is a really cool archetype, but I don't want to go over that one just yet. I think I'm going to save that for a video on YouTube or something like that. We're going to be going over the new feat for... Not new feat, the new curriculum for wizards. School of Gates. If anybody knows anything about, what's it called? I think about not wizards, I think about elves in Pathfinder. They came through weird things called elf gates, which are big teleporters that go from them and their home planet because they're aliens. You're the first person to get my name right the first time? Really? Maybe, I think it's just because I really like the book Skullduggery Pleasant as a kid. So I could say Skull Smuggery. But yeah, no, School of Gates. This one's a teleporty wizard. It has some pretty good focus spells. That's what's based off of. Let's fucking go! I love those books. I wanted to be one of those weird-ass dudes so much as a kid. I didn't, but I really wanted to. I was like, hell yeah. That's where I stole the idea of vampires working security at night shit before I ever played Vampire Masquerade or anything like that. Because it makes sense if you want to work like night security and like rich people things, like influential wizard stuff. Of course you have vampires as your security at night. Skull Smuggery. Oh, that feels weird. I guess you just have to capitalize the S in Smuggery. Maybe why do you green? Goblin. You probably guess what everything in the curriculum is. There's a lot of movement-based stuff, whether that's through teleportation or other increasing movements. Like they get fleet step, they get warping pull, echo jump, flicker, like translocate, teleport, interplanar teleport, sudden transposition, force of gates, etc. Force of gates we'll go over in a second. It's over here on the right. You can kind of see it right now. But their school spells, their focus spells they get are really cool. Why not blue or yellow or even purple? I'm kind of a yellowish green. I have a bit of yellow in me. I'm not like green. Friendly push, 1 action. Focus spell, you target one willing creature sustained for up to 1 minute. I have pointy ear, goblin. You exert magical force to propel a willing creature up to 10 feet in a straight line, including upwards. So if they're on a solid ground or have another way of maintaining their height, such as fly speed, then the movement ends, they start to fall. If you sustain the spell, you can move them again, or choose a new target within range and move them instead. That's, like, it. You can cast a spell on an unconscious ally, and if you do, you move them from the spell, it doesn't trigger reactions. This is a fuck you get out of jail free spell. Why are you so small? Goblin. Heighten the distance increases by 20 feet, and then 30 feet at level 7th rank. Why are you stabbing me? Goblin. But this one is a really good supportive feat if you want to be a more supporty wizard. Not feat, focus spell, excuse me. Move them 10 feet for a single action, up to 30 feet for single action. You can move in the air, upwards, straight up. Because normally if you want to fly straight up in Pathfinder, every movement upwards is difficult terrain. So if you have a 25-foot fly speed, you honestly are only moving like 10 feet up, 10, 15 feet straight up. But this one, you can push them up to 30 feet up. And if they're unconscious, you should immediately move them 30 feet elsewhere. Without triggering any reactions, you should immediately whoop, and move them out of the enemy's attack range. And you have Rapid Retreat, a reaction-focused spell. Range of 20 feet. You take damage from an attacker spell. You just leave. You get resistance to all damage from that entire whatever hurt you, whether it's an attacker spell. And you instantly teleport up to 20 feet away. I was thinking of asking you why Goblin. Just hear you say Goblin. Goblin. It's a really good get out of jail free spell if you need to use it. It's really just, here's a spell for your homies get out of jail free. Here's a spell for you get out of jail free. Yeah, you're just gonna leave. You're like, ah! Whoop. You just warp yourself away. I said readable. Goblin. And we have a bunch of teleport spells. These ones all move you around and shit, or just move other things around, not just you. Echo Jump is one of my favorites. You get it on your curriculum as part of this whole curriculum in general. 2 action spell, basic reflex save, 10-foot emanation, range 30 feet. You teleport 30 feet away, leaving an echo of your form behind that explodes with magical force. You teleport 30 feet away, and then every enemy within 10 feet of your previous location has to make a reflex save or take 48 force damage. Heightened every 2 spell ranks, so at 5, 7, and 9, the damage increases by 3d8, and the range increases by 10 feet. Teddy Kingdom, yeah! And the boom gets really big! Like, up to, I think, I'm bad at math, I think 13d8 at 9th rank. Just teleport yourself, like, 60 feet away, and then explode everybody in a 10-foot animation. For 13d8. Which is a pretty good bit. It's cool, it's what I wanted from Conjuration Wizard. Same! I'm glad it's finally here. The other spell they get on their curriculum that isn't already printed, I believe, is Force of Gates. It's a 10-minute spell. It takes you 10 minutes to cast it. 9th rank spell. Targets you and up to 6 willing creatures that I've touched. Duration, 1 hour. You transport yourself and your allies to a peaceful house, extraplanar like realm of towering trees, each of which holds a misty gateway to another location. When you cast a spell, you choose a specific destination within 1,000 miles that you can identify by its position relative to your starting position and by its appearance, or other identifying features. Incorrect knowledge causes the location to fail. You and your allies walk for 1 hour through the gates. Each of you gains HP and reduces the value of... Sorry. Each of you and your allies take an hour to walk through the forest. Each regains HP and reduces the value of any doom or during condition if you've taken a full night's rest. By the end of your journey, attempt a DC at 40 Arcana or Nature check to find the correct gate to your desired location. For success, you and your allies arrive within 1,000 feet of your desired location. Success, you and your allies arrive within a mile of your location. Failure, you and your allies arrive at 10 miles of your desired location. And in crit failure, you guys just arrive a single mile of your original location. It's just a fuck you, we're walking here. You all just leave, have a casual stroll through the forest, get HP back, reduce your conditions as if you had a night's rest, and then just kind of walk out and you're like, ah shit, I'm gonna walk another mile. I really fuck with King's Castle. I feel like it's not strong enough to be a level 5 spell or 5 rank spell. Can I forever Tenshi? Don't die. Ow. Yeah, no. It's just you and your one willing ally swap places. That's it. 60-foot range, you and your homie swap places. I don't think it's worth a 5th rank spell. I feel like that'd be like a 3rd rank. And it's really funny or hilariously cool. That's a dog you could have as an animal companion. That's a guy. That's an animal companion that you can use to control your enemies with by stabbing them. So I think that's pretty cool. You know, King's Castle, no heightened, 5th rank spell. You move, it's trade places with your homie within 60 feet of you. I feel like this is kind of shit. At least give it like a big range, like 120, a minimum, like a mile if you're feeling cool. Maybe want to heighten it a little bit. Sudden transition is my favorite thing ever. Sudden transition is everything I want out of a teleporting spell. 2-action spell, 60-foot emanation, targets 2 creatures with a fortitude save. You wrench the targets off their feet, forcibly teleporting them within the area. Creatures must be able to fit in their new space, and the positions must be unoccupied entirely within the area and your line of sight. Each target must attempt a fortitude save. Critical success. They can teleport if they want, but they choose the destination within the area. Which is honestly awful. You don't want that. Success, they're unaffected. Failure. You teleport the target and choose the destination. They take 10d10 bludgeoning damage. Crit failure. You teleport the target and choose the destination. The target takes 20d10 bludgeoning damage and are knocked prone. As you just kind of whack. Because you can target up to 2 dudes. And just forcibly put like it's 60-foot emanation, so you could be in the center of a bunch of enemies and forcibly move the enemies that are far away, like enemy cast or whatever. It's a fortitude save, by the way, so it works really well on fortitude, on like non-fortitudinous enemies like casters. Just forcibly teleport them next to your fighters and shit. Especially if they crit fail the save, not only do they take an ass load of damage, they knock prone. You need them into the air for extra falling damage. I feel like that shouldn't be a thing you should do. I feel like that's not allowed with this. I know, like you could probably do it, like wording wise, with the whole they are fall prone on a crit failure. I feel like just moving them 60 feet in the air, which would make them, it's 8th rank, but they probably wouldn't put the knocked prone thing on the crit failure if you just make them take extra fall damage, of which case they would be knocked prone immediately anyways, if they intended for you to drop people from 60 feet in the air. I get that would be really strong, but I feel like that's something they would have wanted it to be used for, and it might be an oversight, but I don't know, I could be wrong. Because that'd be like 20d10 plus 30 damage. Because it's 60 feet in the air, so it's immediately 30 extra damage. So it could be 230 damage, which I mean is whatever. Trade items, I think, is dumb. You can 2-action spell, 3rd rank, target an item in your backpack, and they can hold it now. Like, it's not great for, like, supportive, I don't think. That's fair. You can use it to steal an item from an enemy. Like, you can swap out, like, a copper piece for, like, the sword of a dude. Thank you for the follow, Toshiba Kana. This could be, like, an instant disarm, but it is a reflex save. It must be moving. Ooh, yeah. It's one of my favorite animations. You should see the other one I have that shows other parts of me moving. What are you guys doing? I'm talking about Pathfinder 2nd Edition's Lost Omens. Shining Kingdoms, we're going over the new teleportation spells that are within. Trade items, I feel like it's not worth it for, like, the supportive benefits of it, but it could definitely be worth it if you have, like, you're fighting an enemy that's like a fighter type enemy that relies on its weapons and stuff. Because you can forcibly rip it out of their hands. However, you have to trade it for another item you have. So, of course, you could, like, have a rock in your possession, I guess, like on a belt, just in case. I think it's okay. I think it's okay at best. It could be bad. I feel like, because, like, it's no more than light bulk until you, like, upcast it to 5th rank, in which case it's up to 1 bulk. So you gotta hope they have, like, a sword. I need to try Pathfinder sometime. Only DLD so far. Well, you've come to the right place. I am a Pathfinder goblin myself, and I love to talk about this game and everything about it. And then lastly, a really fun spell that I really like. It's arcane only. And so your action, if an effect would deal damage to an ally within range, you yoink them away from it. You get an ally out of danger with a teleporting pull. You teleport the target to an unoccupied square up to 10 feet close to you. They then gain resistance 5 to all damage against the triggering effect. Won't get as much. A one bulk weapon that's good a chance to be finessed against reflex. That's what I'm saying. Like, it could be like a long sword at best. If they're like having bombs or like a healing potion I really want to steal from them, question mark, I could take it from them, but like, Warping Pull, though, is really fun. It's a really fun supportive spell. Every 2 ranks, it heightens up to increase the resistance by 5. So it starts at 5, up to 10 at 4, 15 at 6, 20 at 8, and then finally 25 at 10 if you want to use your 10th rank spell slot. Hey, Love Slug. Yeah, stealing the healing potion is funny for how rude it is. Like, especially, if they have, like, they poisoned everyone in the room, they have an antidote on them, you're like, they try to use it on themselves. Like, you ever seen the movie Bullet Train? Like that scene with the poison lady, something like that, with, like, a spell. Warping Pull is just good, it's a fun supporting spell. I love me some supportive spells, especially on casters that aren't clerics or bards. Please, wizards, you have stuff you can use to help your homies. Just use them. I'm just saying. It helps. Did I want to go everything in Taldor? I don't remember. Oh, yeah, no, I didn't. I want to go... Lastly, before I end stream, I'm on a spell list. Those are rarely says, yeah, it's only on Arcana, so it's only wizards and witches and sorcerers, you know. We're gonna go over the bestiary because Galt being the way Galt is, there's a lot of fucking undead just roaming around this area. And this book contains a lot of undead enemies that are really fucking cool. Yeah, ready for this? Of course, I do want to warn you before we go into any of these. There is going to be a good bit of body horror being undead from Galt, which they are famous for executing people in horrible ways. So if you're not a fan of body horror, please look away or leave the stream. I do not mind. I understand completely. I, for one, love body horror, but I know people like Daisy, I believe, hates it. So, like, you know, we're starting off with an Oros Wrath. These are fuckers that died of greed. It is literally filling them and spilling out of their body. And they have a lot of effects that deal with the fact that they are full of money. And they do a lot of horrible things to you. It's nasty. It's awful. I love it. They're resistant to electricity, by the way. Resistant 5 to electricity. Weak 5 to slashing. However, they have a special ability called Smeltable. If they take 5 or more fire damage from a single attack, so if you hit them with a Ignite spell, and they just go like, ah, the precious metals in their body enter a molten state until the end of their next turn. From this state, they take a -10 penalty to their speeds. However, their strikes deal an additional 1d6 fire damage. They also lose their weakness to flashing damage and their resistance to electricity damage. And we'll get to the secondary effect of that afterwards. Fetters of Death. A once per 10-minute ability, so it's once per fight, honestly. Curse. The Oros Wrath bellows a plea for gold, remarking that their foes are overladen. Creatures within a 50-foot emanation must succeed a DC 19 will saving throw or become encumbered for 1 minute. Encumbered sucks, by the way. Encumberation makes you slow, fucks your reflex saves. You don't want to be encumbered. A creature is aware that it can immediately end the condition by at least giving the Oros Wrath items or treasure worth at least $20. Handing an item to the Oros Wrath is a single interact action. If the Oros Wrath's hands are full, the item falls to their space, but the condition still ends. Give me your money! Fine. Here, take a 20, asshole. You're B. They fuck with your speed, they fuck with your stuff, and they're like, I could really go for $20 whole right now. And you're like, god damn it. Take a 20, fuck it. And there's some fucked up shit. Yeah, Pompeii baby out moment, give me your money. Here's where stuff gets weird. Okay, so their melee attack is a fist with a 10-foot reach. These guys are large undead, by the way. I forgot to mention that they are large. These guys are big. That's not just a dude. That's a large man. That's a giant full of money. And so they have 10-foot reach. And on their fist, they also have the grab ability on their fist, which means they can use an action to grab you after they attack you, which they can then use suffocating wealth. As the Oros Wrath holds their victim, the victim is smothered in a stream of phantom coins. The creature who begins its turn grabbed or restrained by an Oros Wrath can't speak and must hold its breath or begin to suffocate. The coins produced are ephemeral and melt away to nothing when removed from the Oros Wrath's presence for more than one round. They start vomiting phantom money into your mouth like they have inside of them. There's like, and you're like, It is not a good time. It is gross. Can I watch an ad during this turn instead to avoid this effect? This condition was brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. Use code GreedyGuts to get 0% off. Yeah, it's just a passive. If you start your turn next to them while they have you grabbed, you're just going, there's a feeling with money. Yeah, instead of a mimic, there's just a man in there. And then going back to the smeltable, if they are currently on fire and full of smeltiness, if they have a creature grabbed or restrained by them, they automatically lose one round of the air if they're holding their breath because of the whole full of money thing. So you start suffocating even faster. So you gotta kill it, break him out of the grab, kill it. It is not a good time. It is a fucked up, weird creature. And it is disgusting. I love it. It's just eating money. I love the artwork so much. Just eating money is just spilling out. It's gross. Oh yeah, no, it's an awfully awesome creature to use. What's the CR? I believe it's 5, yeah. Honestly, one of my favorite creatures they've introduced so far. He's a beat a rich guy until money comes out of him. Yeah, he's like a coin pinata. You know, suffocating at 5 is awful. I remember drowning once. We're not gonna go over these guys. This is a gargantuan troop of Fae. I don't care about him. I'm going back to Undeath. Shut up, Fae. Shut up, weird demon rat. Failed prophets are fucked up constructs. They're not undead, though. We're gonna keep on going. These guys are cool. Not undead, though. Lamplighter, it's a weird dude. Where is it? Where's the thing I care about? Here it is. We'll go back to the Demon Stout if I have time. I'm planning on ending the stream within 7 minutes. I want to go at 8:30 just because I'm hungry and I haven't eaten yet today. Yeah, the fucked up Calistocrat's getting fucked up. Yeah, that's not great. Okay, so Tauren Quartet. While in Gault, they did use a lot of guillotines to execute people. They also did other fucked up things. You know what it means to be drawn and quartered? Where they tie each limb to a separate horse and then tell the horses to all run in separate directions, tearing you violently apart. Now imagine what would happen if someone was so resentful, so hateful, because they died such an agonizing and gruesome death, and they become an undead. Held together by ectoplasmic ropes as the chunks and halves of their body are being held together. This creature is fucked up. This creature has such awful abilities, it's so rude. This is level 13 for a reason, okay? It's normal undead. It has void healing, all the normal undead immunities. It's like that word of Emmy stand. Okay, it's weak 10 to slashing. This thing has 4 individual limbs it can control. Has a reactive strike per limb. It can't use the same reactive strike against the same triggering thing, so it can only use it, so you can't like get ganged up on by the reactive strikes, but as for reactions, you can cut off their limbs. Every time it loses 60 HP, it loses a limb. My favorite frog, thank you for stopping by. However, on top of that, each functioning limb can grapple separate creatures within reach. Its reach is 15 feet, by the way. It has long, extendable arm thingies. Each additional limb used to grab somebody increases the creature's escape DC by 2. So as they grab you with more and more limbs, you get harder and harder to escape from. The Grap Lord, yeah, you're going to see why you don't want to be grabbed by this fucker in a second. Whenever a arm is cut off, it loses one in reaction. It can't grab anyone anymore and stuff like that. However, it can replace these parts by spending a whole minute, so you can't do it in the middle of a fight, by spending an entire minute tearing apart a corpse that was killed within the last hour violently to regain 60 HP and restore one of its non-functioning limbs by replacing it with someone else's. They can't have any more than 4 limbs, though, so don't worry, you can't fight like a 19-limbed freakazoid monster. Yeah, don't run past it. We haven't gotten to the most fucked up shit yet, though. And probably the reason why they don't have more than 4 limbs, and so we to cut them off. Flurry of limbs! I'm not gonna look at the other thing, we're gonna not look at that bottom one real quick. Action ability. Oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to say, the melee attacks with its limbs that are 50 feet have improved grab. So as an action, it can immediately just grab, as a free action after it hits you, it should grab you. There is a Hecatonchires enemy in Pathfinder 2. It is a level 24 creature, which is a level right below the Tarask. It is a fucked up creature that I will talk about at a later date because it's awesome. Those grabs suffer no map, and it's as a free action every time they hit you with a melee attack with their arms. So, 3 of limbs, 2 action ability. Makes a number of limb attacks up to its number of functioning limbs, each against a different target. It can literally throw hands, yes. These attacks count towards the multiple attack ability, but don't get added to it until they've already made all up to the amount of limbs it has attacks. So this is kind of fucked up and scary. You can get all of your teammates grabbed at once, but MAP stands for multiple attack penalty. In Pathfinder 2nd Edition, you can attack as many times as you have actions on your turn, because Pathfinder 2e, you have 3 actions and that's it to spend on anything you want. So you can stride, strike, stride, which stride means to move up to your speed. Strike means to attack with a weapon you have. You can strike, 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 stride, 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 anything in between like that, or any other abilities you have. However, each attack after the first attack you make has a penalty called multiple attack penalty, which starts out at 5 or 4 if you have an agile weapon, and increases to 10 or 8 if you have an agile weapon. Make it so you miss the more you attack in your turn to dissuade you from just spending your entire turns attacking everything at all the time, and varying up your actions and abilities and supporting your friends more. It's a more team-focused game in that regard. Oh, thank you so much, Goosey, for the raid. Previously here, I am Bane, Goblin Mechs VTuber extraordinaire. I talk about tabletop games of all sorts, and right now we're talking about Pathfinder 2nd Edition and going over a really fucked up monster. It's an undead, created by a victim of being drawn and quartered, where their rage and anger from such an awful, gruesome, violent death has made them unable to move on. Each one of its limbs can latch onto you and hold you tight, making it so it's harder and harder to escape from them as every limb grabs onto you and squeezes harder and harder. However, the final ability is where it gets extra fucked up, where it's called Tear Asunder. One action. Requirements: the torn quartet has a creature grappled or restrained by at least 2 limbs. Effect: the creature takes 5d6 slashing damage, for each limb currently grabbed or restraining it, to a maximum of 15d6. With a basic DC 30 fortitude save. On a crit failure, the creature also loses a random body part, and one of the torn quartet's limbs is no longer grabbing it or straining it because it rips one of your arms or legs straight off. Because it literally draws and quarters you with its own body. You must suffer unto what it suffered. Roll a d4. Which arm or leg are you losing? DD monsters bite slightly harder. Pathfinder 2e monsters rips arms off of you. Like the fucking Pathfinder 2e owlbear literally raises you above its head and disembowels you violently. This is some final boss or dungeon type shit. Yes, it is. There's no question if I lose a body part. I can't because you don't have a body part, dummy. There's already rules around not having certain limbs and stuff already in the books, so I don't really need to put it into the entry or give it a condition. There is another creature, I believe, I don't remember what it's called, but it's a 3-headed weird centipede beast with different elemental attacks in each mouth that can literally rip you in half and kill you instantly. It's like one of 3 characters, like enemies out of the thousands of monsters in Pathfinder 2 that can literally insta-kill you. I don't remember where it is. But yeah, no, that's the fucked up creature that I love. I'm just gonna just start looking again. Like, oh god, this is such good art. It lost a limb stuff. Yeah. So peak. What have I been doing playing DD5B this so long? That's what I've been saying every day for the rest of forever. But yeah, last undead we're talking about is the Walconfied. Walconfied. These are undead. They have normal undead immunities. They are weak to vitality, which is like healing magic, so you can hurt them by healing them. These guys have sneak attack and grab. These guys are level 2 creatures that hide out in the walls of the places that they were murdered in and were sealed away in these enclosed awful spaces. This is the wall shadow from Yu-Gi-Oh! Yes. It can possess and like merge into any walls they touch within their weird sealed chamber, and can create a manifestation of themselves through any part of the wall on either side within 100 feet of them. It's a fucked up rotting half of a person. Won't bring out of somebody. While manifested, their claw attacks gain 10 feet of reach but they can only move while using wall glides. So they move across the walls and stuff like that. It's a really fucked up weird thingy. So you can have like a bunch of these guys in like the center of a dungeon. They're just crawling across the walls of stuff, just ripping you apart, and then we're like retreating back and forth between walls and stuff. It's so cool. You can also blend into the walls and make themselves look like they're camouflaged because they have sneak attack as well. I love them. These guys are weird, freaky creatures. They don't do a whole lot past that. They're very much like ambush hunters that go and move around a whole lot to annoy your party, but they're really cool, and I like them thematically. I will go back to the Fiend that I skipped over earlier because people wanted to see it. This is a returning daemon from Pathfinder 1st Edition. Wrong button. Pathfinder 1st Edition. These guys are the Bibliodaemon. These guys are what happens when you die via bureaucracy. Because daemons in Pathfinder all are all spawned via someone dying via some way. There's one about like bleeding out, one about like suicide, I believe. There's a lot, like anything you can think of dying wise, there's a daemon about it. Yeah, the Cask of Amontillado coming back for revenge. But this thingy is all about bureaucracy and all of the bullshit. This is what happens when you die via like missing paperwork and shit. First off with its aura ability called Red Tape, 30 feet aura. Whenever a non-daemon enters or begins its turn within the aura, it must make a DC 23 will saving throw. On a failure, it takes a -2 penalty to saving throws against linguistic effects for 1 round. Of which it has 1, inevitable delays, 1 action. The Bibliodaemon's last action was a successful strike that dealt damage. The Bibliodaemon intuits the next actions the creature they just damaged will take and explains how it doesn't have the proper clearance to perform those actions. They make a DC 23 will saving throw or become slowed 1 because they don't have the fucking license to hit you. Or I should say you don't have license to hit them. You didn't fill out Form A, Section 32? You can't strike me, fucker. And then my favorite, Death by 1000 paper cuts. 2 action ability, Cone Attack, where they launch torrent of sharp papers from the sleeves of their robes. Creatures in the cone take 96 slashing damage. And creatures that fail to save take persistent damage because you get paper cuts. Hey, you have a permit for that uncommon advanced weapon. Hey, are you from Eldori? You have an Eldori dueling sword in your hand right there. I don't believe you have the right permit for that. We are currently not in Eldori. We are in the Mwangi. You must relinquish it to me. You don't have the right license for this area. You don't have the right concealed or open carry for it. Okay, these guys are just bureaucracy made physical form, and I love them. Also, there's a fucking weasel with the dumb fucking, like, weird lawyer slash judge wig from, like, the 1800s. My favorite part, right here on the right, lists a bunch of superstitions that the Shining Kingdom's governments have to prevent bibliodemons from having and appearing. Such preventative measures and superstitions to avoid summoning a bibliodemon include: starting on the first day of a new position, one must walk the perimeter of your assigned district 3 times a week for a month. If one encounters a weasel, they must not return to the office for the rest of the day to prevent the demon from sneaking in with the official, because these guys can transform themselves into weasels and other humanoids. And learning falconry or owning a bird of prey can make officials more alert of missing errors and keeping an eye out for the fiend and attacking any weasel that they happen to come across. These guys are goofy. Sorry, boss, there's a weasel. You know the deal. I gotta go home. I'm gonna work from home from, like, today. It is such a dumb, weird creature. I love it the most. I will say though, I am gonna end my stream here, sadly. I wanted to continue a little bit longer, but I'm literally starving right now. I'm hungry. I made pizza an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, and I'm going to go and eat that now. I will be moving myself. I'm going to be raiding into my homies at Roll for Your Lives. They are currently, I believe they are currently doing their D&D campaign. Once again, I want to thank you. Ow! Thank you all for stopping by and hanging out with me. We'll be going and playing Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Stole Time, tomorrow at 6 p.m. EST. As well as going over some PaizoCon releases and things we talked about at PaizoCon this Saturday at 6 p.m. EST. If you want to go and get more updates about me or my content, or just want to talk to me in general, hang out amongst a good community, you can go ahead and join my Discord. Link is in the chat. Alright, message will be get bited stinky. I'll put it in chat as well. Once again, thank you for watching. Hope you have a wonderful night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.